All right, thriving at 30. If you're in your 30s right now and you're stressing about being single, maybe you really want to get a girlfriend and it's just you feel like you're not able to attract the right person, or maybe you're just so fed up with the online dating, because I know it can be a headache. And you see all your friends start to get married, have their fulfilling relationships while you're just doing your thing. Is that relatable, bro? Well, I can definitely relate to you. I understand completely. I'm 33 now, and I've been single without a girlfriend by choice for about 8 years. And I know that sounds crazy. You're probably thinking, wow, that's a long time. Now, I've definitely dated a lot of women in the past. I've had my fair share of experiences, but I've also gone long periods without even seeing anyone. And today I'm just going to walk you through really exactly how you can optimize this period of time right now. Being single, if you're in your 30s, or even if you're in your late 20s or mid 20s, you can still get some nuggets from this. And this message is mainly for guys because that's what this channel is all about. This is the Ascended Man, where I help you forge strength, elevate your spirit, and lead with purpose. So let's get into it. A little bit about me. I actually was in combat in the Marine Corps at the age of 20. I was a certified personal trainer for over a decade, and I've coached tons of men to peak performance. And now my mission is to give back. So I hope this resonates with at least one person out there. Basically, right now, you need to understand that this season that you're in of singlehood is a gift. And society makes it out like, by the time you're 30, 32, you should be with your partner. You should, be married, have a wife, have kids, be at a certain point in your career. But the truth is that's not reality. And a lot of things have changed these days. And to be honest with you, dating is harder than ever now. And there's a lot of reasons why it's harder than ever, but I want to help you try to maximize this time period. So don't feel bad for still being single. Don't feel like the world's crashing down, and it's definitely not over. So let me just take you back. The last actual girlfriend that I had was right when I got out of the military. I had just got out of the Marine Corps. I was about 23 years old, and I was just trying to figure out my way in life. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life too much. I had a general idea. But I was in school, I was a personal trainer, and I started dating this girl right when we got out. Hardly knew each other, dated for about 4 months, and then we ended up moving to a different state that I didn't even really want to move to. We moved up north to Connecticut. I'm actually from Georgia. And we got an apartment together. We had a whole life together. We had dogs together. And we built a home. But, going into this relationship, I really saw the red flags early on. And I ignored them. Like, my intuition was telling me it wasn't going to work out, but I stayed and I stayed. And the reason I stayed was because I really feel like I needed someone. And some of you veterans out here can definitely probably relate. When you're in the military, when you get out, you just want to have a stable life. You want to have your person. You want to kind of settle down, have some quiet. You want to have some peace. And I didn't really love this woman truly because I didn't really love myself. And, a lot of the times we confuse infatuation or, just because we have physical chemistry, maybe the sex is really good, maybe you have a little bit of fun together. We confuse that for actual love, but you can't really truly love someone unless you love yourself. So if you're single in your 30s right now, you can truly pour into yourself. And I didn't really know who I was, exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't really know what my mission was in life. I didn't really know who I was, man. And I'm sure you can probably relate to this, but in order to truly attract your ideal partner, you have to first become the ideal partner. And you have to understand what it is that you value and what you want in a person, right? What do you want in a woman? Okay. What are deal breakers, And so I was so young, I was just trying to figure this out. And to be honest, when we're in our 20s, that's all we're trying to do is we're just trying to figure ourselves out. I didn't even really start really getting my shit together until I would say closer to 30, because for guys, it takes us a lot longer. But the relationship was very toxic. We weren't really that compatible at all. We didn't really have too much in common. And a lot of the things that were foundational for me, that were really important for me in my life, like my fitness, my health, that wasn't, it wasn't the same priority for the woman that I was with. And that's okay. Amazing woman. My heart goes out to her. We made peace a while ago, but we lived together for 2 years. I don't know why we even renewed our lease after 1 year, but we played it out. And when I got out of the relationship, I ended up moving to Florida. And I just remember how freeing of a feeling it was. The night that I left, it was in the winter. It was right before Christmas, and empty apartment. Was kind of scared because it's sort of scary now, living with someone for 2 years, having a life together, and then getting to the point where you are now by yourself. I had to redecorate my new apartment when I moved down to Florida, and it was tough, being a guy who's not necessarily the best decorator. I usually outsource women to do that for me, but it was very freeing. And it was in the start of 2017 that I really started those single years. And again, I dated a lot of women, but I wasted a lot of time and energy and money on things that I shouldn't have. I racked up my credit card debt to over $11,000 just trying to impress women. And I did that twice in my 20s. And so right now, if you're single, you need to pour everything that you have into yourself. I mean, mentally, physically, financially, right? Start reading, start learning. If you don't really have interesting conversations, start reading more. Some of the great books that I can recommend to you are Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, The Lost Art of Listening, which is something that I used to struggle with, was listening. I know a lot of guys probably struggle with that. Atomic Habits by James Clear, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Man, I could make a whole separate video on some of my top books. Oh, The Greatness Mindset by Lewis Howes. Shout out to Lewis Howes. Very amazing podcast, incredible guy. Pour into yourself, become smarter, learn more, and truly make sure you're on the path, right? So what do I mean by that? Make sure you're doing what you want to do, because when you try to find a woman, it should really be them coming into your life, coming into a life that you're already building, right? A life that you're already proud of. So if you're not in a job right now, in a career path that, you feel like is a good fit for you, then start learning about what else you could do. Find something else. I can honestly recommend, I wish I would have got into sales and marketing at a younger age. I didn't get into sales until I was I would say about 29. 30 years old. But man, finish school. If you're not in a career that you want to get into, pick a good career. And I can give you some honest, good tips: sales, marketing, anything with tech, SaaS, software as a service, AI, anything like that, right? Just become as valuable as you can as a man, because that's the point of being a man, is to build yourself into value. So men and women are judged very differently in society. Men are judged on the value that you bring. So it takes guys a lot longer to build themselves up. We take a long time to figure out what we want to do. And, there's a lot of pressure on us. For women, women in her feminine energy is going to be supportive. She's going to be nurturing. She's going to be, fun, peaceful. She's going to bring peace to your life. The right woman is going to bring peace to your life. She's not going to add stress to your life. Right? So keep that in mind. And also, shout out to some of the women that are in their careers and they're happy with their careers. That's totally fine. If you find someone who, fits you, that's compatible, and she's growing in her career and you're growing your career, just make sure you're finding a woman who's bringing feminine energy, right? Because we already have enough stress on us as it is in life as men. So you definitely want to have a drama-free life. The right woman can completely ruin your life, and she can also, the wrong woman can completely ruin your life, and the right woman can add so much value to your life. And I have, some friends that have incredible women in their lives and very, very blessed, and they add so much amazing value to your life. So really focus on making sure you're on your path. If you have been thinking about starting that side project or that side business, maybe it's TikTok Shop. Maybe you want to Start drop shipping. Maybe you wanted to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you wanted to start a coaching or consulting. Maybe you wanted to do something else. I don't know. Honestly, dude, like whatever it is, because we all have something that we're called to. And really what it's all about is finding out what your gifts are to the world. So think about what you're good at. What do you like? What if people told you that you're good at, right? And you kind of just take all these things into consideration and just start journaling about it. Because you want to make sure that you're living your life on your terms, right? You want to make sure that you are the author of your own story and no one else is holding the pen. So make sure you're getting after it. Make sure you're chasing after what you want in life. Make sure you get rid of your credit card debt. I mean, too many guys are out here living paycheck to paycheck, dating, and they have no business dating and they don't even have any money, right? It's expensive to live. I'm not saying you got to make a ton of money, but I mean, you kind of do these days if you want to have a nice life. And it's expensive having a woman in your life and being able to provide a nice life for you guys and have fun experiences. You don't want to be stressed out. So if you don't have your finances right now, get your bread right. Kill the credit card debt. Sacrifice for honestly, maybe 6 months to a year. Maybe if you've just been, obsessed with the dating apps and chasing validation and chasing women, it's probably time that you just take a break from the dating apps, delete them for 6 months to a year and just focus on yourself. Other thing with that too, bro, is get fit, man. If you don't even know what you want to do, you need to start figuring it out. But if you're not in shape, if you got 15, 20, 30 pounds to lose, or if you're skinny and you need to, put on some muscle, right? Then get fit. It's going to increase your SMV, your sexual market value, right? Pour into yourself. Start hitting the gym on a regular basis. If you are watching porn on a regular basis, kill it. I have some people out here might be, I'm okay. I can still, have a good sex life or whatever. Look, I didn't have a good experience with it. I've made separate videos about this before, but crush the porn because it's going to make your actual sex life way worse. And dude, there was a period of time, and this was 4 years ago, where I was just trying to finish school. I was working 2 jobs and I didn't date or have sex for an entire year, but I was still watching porn every day. And I was coping, making this excuse that, I'm too busy to date right now. I can't date. But yet I was draining myself with the motivation to actually go out and connect with real women. So it's a trap. It's free, but you pay for it with your soul. So I hope they honestly make this shit completely illegal in every single state. I know a lot of states are starting to crack down on it, but get rid of that, man. Get your bread right. Get into a career that you like, that has, a lot of growth potential, and get your body right. Get in shape. If you don't, look, you don't have to look like a bodybuilder. You don't have to be 6% body fat, but if you can get down to 10, honestly, even 12 or 13% body fat, you have some visible abs, you have some good shoulders, you have some good arms on you, back, got a little bit of a V taper, you're good to go, man. Women don't really give a shit about that. They just care if you are in good shape and that you're healthy and you take care of yourself. Why? Because that shows that you're a disciplined man. That shows that you can take care of her. You can take care of yourself. You're disciplined. You can take care of her. You're a protector, resources. You need to acquire more resources. You need to increase your income overall, right? I mean, $100,000 hardly gets you anywhere these days. And if you're thinking about having a wife and kids, you're going to have to bump that way up depending on where you live, unless you want to live out in the middle of nowhere. But if you're living in some kind of a metro area, like I live in metro Atlanta, I mean, dude, you got to be making at least 120, 150 plus to even consider having a family. But get on your purpose, man. Figure it out what you want to do. It doesn't matter. There is no right answer, but make sure that you're living life on your own terms. You're doing things for you and really trying to become the man, because my philosophy is when you attract what you are, right? So if you don't feel like you have a lot of options right now, you're not getting a lot of good matches on dating apps, and you're not making that much money, you're hooked on porn, you're hooked on the vape, you've got all these other vices and shit, and you've got a ton of credit card debt, you are not in a good position at all to be dating right now. And it's not what you want to hear, but I'm telling you, I've been there, I've done that. Delete the apps and focus on self-improvement first and foremost, all right? So when you do that, man, and honestly, dude, like a year flies by. There have been, since 2019, I have leveled up my body, my mind, my money, the whole 9 yards. And there's been a couple times where I didn't date at all for like a year. I was just, monk mode, really heavy on my personal development. So get your shit together, dude. It's not over. The right women are going to come. Like I've actually turned the dating apps back on recently, like Bumble and Hinge, and I get some really, really solid matches, like crazy good matches. But I mean, that's because I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I've really poured into myself and I have paid my dues to be able to attract that. So when you start leveling up yourself, you're going to be opening up a higher tier of women that will be available to you. Okay. And you're going to be in like the top 5%. And then if you're watching my channel, some other videos about female nature and relationship dynamics and dating and whatnot, you start watching that stuff and it's just going to, help you even more when you start to understand women, start to understand female nature, because women really are not that complicated at all when you actually understand them. Okay. So another really good book, I just thought of it when I was saying this, was The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. Also, shout out to Corey Wayne. The 3% Man is also a really good book. Tons of great books. But if you're not where you want to be right now in your life, understand it's okay. Stop dating and then start focusing on building yourself and your life up into building a life that you can truly be proud of, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So yeah. And as far as the dating apps go, Bumble and Hinge are really the only two that I would even recommend, but they're really not good for any guys unless you're like at the top 5-10% guys. Like if you're in really good shape, if you're a good looking dude, if you make good money, if you have you're in your career, you have hobbies, right? You have a good social circle. That's going to put you in the top 10%. So I think it's like only 10% of guys in your area are getting 90% of the best quality girls in your area. So when you get your shit together, you're gonna be in the top 10%. Okay. Other thing too is start networking, start connecting with other cool dudes. I mean, start putting yourself out there more. Become more of a social animal. Just start talking to random people. Flirt with everybody. I mean, flirt with every girl. It doesn't matter how attractive she is, because it's giving you practice, right? So when you do actually see Miss Right walk in, you meet her at a workout class or a yoga studio or the grocery store, you won't have an issue just striking up a random conversation, right? Just banter with every woman, because it's just the practice. You should treat every woman the same, no matter how attractive she is or not in your eyes, okay? And as far as guys, you got to be with guys who are getting after it in your life. If you got friends that are just obsessed with sports teams all the time, they're obsessed with video games. Look, I like sports. I played sports growing up. I like video games. I got a PS5 in here. I hardly ever turn it on though. But if you're around guys who are just obsessed with that kind of stuff and gossip and, leveling up their Call of Duty character, and they're not focused on leveling up their life, if you're not around guys who are pushing you to grow, if you don't have other guys and mentors in your life that you can learn from and grow from, people that are more successful than you need to start getting plugged into networking events and start putting yourself out there. And even if you're at the gym, you can tell, if a dude looks like a cool dude, just go say what's up. It's not a big deal, right? Just got to start building your social network more as well. That's going to be really important, because that's another thing too, is if you're dating a girl, you find a girl that you really like and she has all the qualities that you want, but then you just become obsessed with her and you don't have much else going on in your life, it's going to be a huge, huge turnoff, because a woman wants you to have other stuff going on in your life. She doesn't want to be the center of your world. Okay. So when you have, also it makes you look higher caliber. It makes you look more high value when you have other high value guys in your life, because women are judging you based on your social circle as well, right? They should be guys that are like-minded and similar. If you're on your personal growth journey and you still got friends that are just wanting to go out and party and drink all the time, and they're not really actually trying to achieve any specific goals, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard for you to start elevating more. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it really is true, bro. Like, you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So audit your social circle right now. So I know that was a lot, but remember, if you're in your 30s right now, it's considered as a blessing if you're single. It's a season of growth. It's a golden opportunity for you to level up in your life. Now, a couple tips if you're, dealing with family pressure, maybe from your friends, family pressure, friends trying to set you up, and your family. Look, the thing I learned about the family is because I've got 2 sisters and I've got a bunch of nieces and nephews, and they're younger than me and they're already married. They have their own families, and how you handle is you just got to be confident with what you're doing in your life. You have to be confident with who you are and where you're going. And if you're confident if you give off that confident energy that you know what you're doing with your life, and you know what, I know the right woman will come along. I know she'll come along. I'm not worried about it. Then your family would pick up on that, and then they'll usually back off. But, if you're around toxic people, friends or family, then you might want to consider removing them from your life or distancing them, distancing yourself from them for a certain period of time. In some cases, we just have to distance ourselves from them for a long time. Even sometimes we cut people out. So I know that was a little bit of a ramble there, but 30s and thriving, man. This is your golden opportunity to maximize your personal growth. Just pour into yourself. And I know if you do that, the right woman will find you. And then when you're ready, put yourself back out there. But if you've been obsessed with just dating and low vibrational hookups, it's probably time that you stop wasting money and stop wasting time and energy and just focus on yourself for a bit, man. Dude, if you haven't been single for more than a few months in your entire life, if you've never not had a girlfriend in like 6 months to a year, then you should be single for a year and just focusing on becoming the best version of yourself. And when you do want to start meeting high quality women, go meet them in places that are doing things that you actually enjoy, things that you really like. So if you like to work out, go to a boot camp class. There's a company called ClassPass where you can buy a certain amount of credits per month, and you can just go try yoga studios, workout gyms and whatnot. And, you're actually putting yourself in the right environment. So that's going to be huge, right? You want to go do things where you can meet high quality women, because you're not going to meet 9 times out of 10, you're not going to meet a high quality woman at a club, at a bar. I mean, some other guys might say different, but I'm not a fan of it. I know I'm not going to meet my next girlfriend, my wife, at a club, at a bar, because I don't really do that stuff too much anymore. And those aren't really the types of women that you want to be in a relationship with, okay? So anyway, if you guys found this video helpful, why don't you hit that like button, comment down below something you're struggling with right now, and then hit the subscribe button, and then I'll catch you guys later. Peace.